My name is Edra Phillips, and I am the East Facilitator at York Middle School. And we're taking over Courageous Conversations for Dr. Crossley today. So our guests are my family. We are the Phillips Four. So this is Rodney Phillips. He is a local business owner and area pastor. My daughter Kennedy, who is 10th grader here at Hope High School, and Madison, who is a 9th grader here at Hope High School. So welcome, everybody. So one of the first questions that we want to talk about, just having a casual conversation, what do you like about Hope? How do you feel about living in a place called Hope?
Well, me myself, I just really enjoy the small town feel. I mean, you know, it's not like the hustle and bustle of a big city. I mean, you know, you don't have like all that congestion and stuff like that, and it's more family orientated than, you know, like just being in a big city or something like that. You know, so I really love the small town feeling of Hope.
And it's a lot of community involvement, especially like with the parades, back to school bash, watermelon festival.
True. We
get like it's time for families to like spend together, and then the town comes together as one.
Good answer. Kennedy, what about you?
I mean, you know everybody.
True.
Like, you go somewhere and then they be like, do I know your parents? Or I'll be like, yeah.
That is true, because I grew up here in Hope, and you guys know that. Dad grew up here in Hope. So it's something about being able to have that ownership in your town. You grew up here, you know people here, you know families. So that gives us a buy-in. We are invested in this community, which makes a really big difference, because that leads over into the schools. Because, you know, that community, we're part of the community. The school's a part of the community as well. So how do you feel about Hope Public Schools?
I really like it, and it's like very diverse. Like if we go to different events and stuff, most of the time you'll see that Hope is like the most diverse school there is there.
That's true. That's true. Especially with the competitions we've been at. So kind of a break here. What sports are you two involved in?
Cheer, softball, and tennis.
And both of you are in cheer, softball, and tennis. Mm-hmm. And right now we're in that cheer competition season. And the past competitions that we've been going to, Hope is the most diverse. So that's a very unique quality about Hope. So what else do you like about the school systems or don't like?
Something that I don't like, I guess not everybody's point of view is taken or understood.
Okay, explain that.
Like teachers, they'll have their point of view in certain situations, and students will have their point of views, and then you have to take it to like the higher authorities, and they'll have their point of view of both situations. So at some point there might be conflict, and not everybody's point is understood, but they'll just take the necessary action that they think is best.
Okay.
Like, and especially like the different age levels and like age groups, you know, like teenagers, they have, and kids, they have like a different point of view than like adults do. And I know like sometimes like kids may not like fully understand like where adults are trying to come from, but like kind of like if adults take it from a kid's perspective too, and they're like, okay, I kind of see like where you're coming from, like that.
And they have to understand the kid's background too. Yeah. That has a lot to do with the action that the kids take in general.
Okay.
Because it all starts at home.
Ooh, that is a great segue into it. It truly does start at home. So parental involvement. Rodney, how do you see parental involvement being involved in? The girls had a really good point. So how do you feel like all of that ties in?
I mean that's the most important thing, is that your parents have to be involved in. They have to be I want to say like on the same page as basically the teachers. In other words, I can't expect an educator to educate my child, discipline my child, raise my child, do everything that I'm supposed to be doing just because I send them to school. You know, it's like my job is just to send them, and then I want the educator to do everything, and then a lot of times it's like a lot of parents, I think in their mind frame is my babies can't do no wrong.
Right.
And when the educators come to the point of, okay, I've been trying to educate your child, and your child is not willing to be educated. Now I have to discipline your child, but you don't want me to discipline your child. The only thing that you want me to do is basically kind of babysit and pamper and do all these other things. But when it comes down to discipline or trying to steer your child in the right way, then it's a problem, and you're not on that same page with that teacher. But if those things were taken care of at home, then you wouldn't have to, that would not even be a problem for a teacher. So that's how I really see that the parents, have to be involved in their child's life, raising their children properly, so that when they do come and be within the community of the school system itself, they know how to conduct themselves. They know how to act. So it's easier, on everybody that way.
I feel like I fuss so much at home about this. It's like everything that I feel my family sees. Let me ask you about that. As students here in the district, do you feel like having a parent as a teacher in the district makes you see things differently than other students?
For sure.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
And one thing that, we've always tried to do is to raise our girls to where they show respect, to where to know you have a voice, but there's a way to express that voice. You have to show respect. So if you show respect and you express that voice, that is allowed. But we also tell you make sure you have everything taken care of on your end. You make sure all of your bases are covered. And sometimes students don't always have that because there's so many things going on in the households that, coming from both perspectives, as the teacher, we don't always see and we don't always know. But we do try to teach students more than just the curriculum. We have life skills that we try to teach them. We try to impart wisdom upon them to say that, I have these rules for the classroom and you need to follow these school rules, follow classroom rules, because when you get into the community, when you go out into the real world is not going to just give you everything you want. The real world is not going to just say, oh, well, that's okay. You didn't finish your job, but I'm still going to give you a full paycheck. That's not exactly how it works. You going to say something, Ronnie?
In a good way, I don't know. Y'all was kind of like, talking about like, voice, having a voice. And, one thing that we've encouraged y'all about is, like the different organizations on campus, especially student council. That is a great way to have a voice within the student body and also within the faculty body as well. Because, you're making that effort to say, well, I'm going to, because student council, basically, you're representing your other students and the concerns of the other students. And so now you're in a position of actually representing them, before faculty or before the community. So that's a great way to have a voice.
And you guys are a part of student government. Do you feel that you represent your student body well?
Yes, I feel like I do. Well, personally, I do. But at some points, there can be times that different things could happen, or like certain ideas that the kids may have get shot down due to the fact that they're not like in the standards of like how schools or can act or be represented or stuff like that.
Okay. What about you?
I'm a new coming member to student council, but in the future, I've heard kids say different things that they want, and I hope that I can represent them well and make some of those things happen for them.
Now, one thing that I've heard from some of my students is that they would like to see Hope have more activities, more clubs, organizations, other things that go on. Do you guys feel like that would be a good thing? Whether it's things like the back to school bash, which was really great, or another different student organization on campus, just something for kids to do. Do you think that that would help? That would help the, I don't know to say the camaraderie, that would help the atmosphere here at the school.
Yes, I think so, but you have to have people that'll be dedicated to it. First, you got to have the leader. And whoever is appointed as the leader, they have to be dedicated, then getting students to actually join the club and making it fun so that they'll be dedicated and represent the school well.
That's true.
Because if you don't make it fun, then they're not going to be dedicated.
Right.
It's just going to be something for them to hang out. Like, hang out, we do this. It's not going to be enjoyable, and depending on what the club is, like, the teacher may not even, like, care about what the students do in it. Mm-hmm. So I think that everybody has to, like, put a hand in on that. Like, the leader be dedicated and, like, hold the students accountable for what the club is for and what you do in the club.
Great points. Very great points. You know, often we talk about how things were when we went to school here.
Yes.
I don't want to tell our age. But there were a lot of clubs and organizations. There was a lot of student activity going on. There was a lot of student involvement. There was a lot of parent involvement. There's one thing, you know, definitely if either of our parents came, it was like, you know, we had to act right. But there was a lot of things that were going on. And I think, times have changed. The way people are raising their children has changed. Children have changed. But I don't think we're too far gone that we can't offer some different things. So it sounds like from this conversation, creativity in thinking of different things, different activities, different things to partnerships could happen to have more things, more investment in our students, basically. Communication is definitely key. We've got to communicate with each other. So, I mean, that's one thing we do regularly. It's like around the dinner table, we talk about the day, what happened at school, how was it, what happened here, what happened there. Yeah. So, you know, that's one thing that we hope to keep going amongst ourselves, even beyond high school. So let's ask this. I'm not ready. I'm like, want to lock y'all in the closet. You cannot graduate. You know, I might let you out at 45, but do you feel that you're ready or getting close to being ready to go into college? And do you have a plan for what you might do when you graduate?
Yes.
Yes, no.
To both, yeah. I feel like, because now I'm taking, like, a couple of classes, like, above my grade level.
Okay. Just
to, like, get that extra, like, step in. And hopefully next year I'll start taking concurrent classes just to, like, get a feel of what, like, college classes, like, are about. I know I won't get the, like, real feel because I'm not in the classroom or, like, with the professor or anything like that. But I do feel like I'm getting closer, like, in my education to getting where I want to be in college. And I do have a plan for when I grow up. Like, my top 3 colleges are A-State, UCA, and U of A Fayetteville.
Ah! They're so far away, Mama can't handle it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And when I grow up, long term, a CEO, a lawyer, or a nurse.
Okay.
Short term, either like a coach, a principal, or a teacher.
We're going to get good presents at Christmas. What about you, Kitty?
Yes, I've taken concurrent classes, and they do prepare you for college. Like, you have to be studied, and you have to study, you have to be dedicated, you have to be, like, not a procrastinator. But, I sort of suffer with that. But, you know, I still got the work done, still passing stuff. I have about the same colleges that Madison said. So, yeah. Short term, I thought about being a cheer coach. Shout out to Coach Kirby.
Very much so.
And
We're
then,
gonna talk Kirby.
I thought about a teacher, because you know,
Yeah.
or a facilitator, like an East facilitator. Miss Brady, she was the reason for that. And long term, I actually thought before, like when I was younger, I wanted to be president, and I still sort of. I still got that feeling.
Very good.
Like shoot for the stars.
Well, Dad, how do you feel about hearing those plans? Get that checkbook ready.
Yeah.
We're gonna have scholarships.
Yes. I feel that they are, progressing, towards that, with the curriculum that they're in and taking in. One thing that I do realize and I come to the understanding is that it's a balancing act, and you have to really work at balancing everything out. I mean, as far as your studies, as far as your activities in school, whether they be sports, whether they be organizations or whatever. I mean, it's like a very fine act. And the thing of it is, if you balance them properly, then both of them can enhance and work with both of them. But I feel that Kennedy and Madison, I mean, they can go, wherever and be successful. I don't care what school it may be, what job career field that they enter in. I don't think there's nothing that's going to be able to hold them back.
Good answer. Okay, so we're about to wrap everything
Mom,
up.
how do you feel?
Oh, I feel. I told you, I am not ready to have my babies leaving yet. But no, honestly, I feel like you guys have been prepared. I feel like as parents, I always feel like there's more we could do. There's always more that we could do. But this is a lifelong thing of having children. It's a lifelong learning experience. It's a lifelong teaching thing for us. So as long as there's that relationship, we're always your parents, no matter what age. I feel like there have been teachers, every teacher you all have had has offered something to your success. We tell you that we are proud of you guys, we love you guys, and every teacher that you've had, they have, whether good or bad, but mostly good, they have prepared you for where you are now and prepared you for the future. They have all given something extra. That's one thing that I feel like often a lot of teachers don't always get the recognition they deserve. Because there's some teachers that everybody just knows they're great teachers, but then there's some teachers that we often miss seeing them staying late at the schools, or staying up late, or seeing them take that extra time to encourage the kids, or catching the parent in the store to say, oh, your kid is doing fine, or making that phone call home. And we've been blessed to have some teachers that have done that, to say, if I send an email or if I call, they're doing fine, they're doing good. Or if there was a concern, and I've even had that happen, even with, the coaches are teachers. They are teachers in the classroom, and then they are teachers on the fields, on the courts, on whatever surface they are. We have had some to reach out to us, and I'm very appreciative for that. I'm appreciative for Hope because we're products of Hope. We are products of Hope High School, of the schools that are here. So really, it's about your mind frame. If you set your mind to it, it can be done. If you have that support system, it can be done. And I'm looking at 2 future products of Hope Public Schools. And it's still being done. We just have to change our mind frame as a community to believe that it is still being done. And there are good teachers. Sometimes teachers get tired, just like parents get tired. Just like people in the community get tired. Students get tired. But yes, I feel like you guys are ready. You are ready, and you are going to be successful, and you are going to impact any and everything you touch in a positive way. And there are a lot more students here. in the Hope Public School system that are going to make a positive impact on this world. And thinking of that, myself, this is something that I went through. I felt like because I'd never left Hope, because I stayed and taught here, some people made me feel like I was a failure. That is not true. Because if all of the good teachers leave, what are we going to leave for our future? Somebody has to stay. Somebody has to make that sacrifice. And I believe that we have a bright future in Hope if we just open our eyes and see the future that we have here. If we see the potential that is here in this town, the potential with our students, with our teachers, with our administrators, the potential with the community as a whole. So I think that's one reason why Dr. Crossley uses the slogan, all in. We have got to be all in all the way around. We've got to have that passion. We've got to have that love. We've got to have that participation from everyone in order to be a success here in Hope Public Schools. So, last question. If there's a bit of advice that you could give to anybody out there, students, teachers, the community, what advice would you give them about Hope Public Schools, about the future, about whatever? What advice would you give them?
I just say, students, keep trying. It's not going to get easier. It's just going to get harder because we are growing up and we have more things to face in life. I say, discipline yourself and make sure that you do your assignments, you check with the teachers, and you make sure that as well as the teachers are involved, that you are involved, and that your parents are involved. And if you play sports, make sure to take breaks and stuff, and make sure to keep your grades up and take time to study, because I know sports, they can take a lot out of you, they can take a lot of time, but with you being a multitasking student, you're gonna need to take the time to study and take breaks because it can get stressful, but just keep trying.
Good advice. Kennedy?
This goes out to everyone. Please don't procrastinate. If you gotta do it, just do it. Don't wait. Don't wait. And mental health is real. If you need help, reach out. Don't keep everything in. If you have to let it out, call somebody that you can trust. Don't keep that in. Please don't.
Robert?
Mine would be real short and sweet. To the community and to the school, to everyone that's involved. Respect yourself, and when you respect yourself, then others will respect you. Respect is not something that is given. Respect is something that is earned. You have to earn respect, and for you to earn respect, you have to respect yourself, and then others will respect you. That's your community, that's your school, and I think that's something that everyone truly wants is to be respected. If you're a student, you want to be respected. If you're a principal, you want to be respected. If you're a superintendent, or if you're in student council, if you're in sports, whatever your position is or whatever your status is, you want to be respected in that. But you have to show forth that respect because you have to earn that respect.
Very good. So, advice from me. Oh gosh, how much advice could I give? Continue to believe in hope. Continue to believe in our future, which is our students. Offer positivity. Know that change can happen. We've got to hang in there. And instead of being a part of the problem, let's become a part of the solution. Offer up as much participation, as much help, as much assistance as you possibly can. Students, it's like they said, hang in there. Don't procrastinate. It can be done. It's all about our mindset. So we could go on about advice, but It's been a pleasure hanging with you guys this morning. So, on behalf of Dr. Jonathan Crossley and Courageous Conversations, thank you for joining us today. And remember, Hope Public Schools, we're all in.